Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
Do you love movies? So do I. What's up, y'all? It's KB, and I love movies. Inviting you to listen to The Conversation, a film podcast where passion meets perspective and opinion. From the old school to the new, I invite a guest on to discuss the movies that thrill us, challenge us, break our hearts, or even blow our minds. There's always new episodes dropping wherever you get your podcasts. So join the conversation. We don't just watch movies. We love talking about them too. The Conversation with KB Loves Movies, a part of Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hello and welcome to the Wednesday edition, or I guess the midweek edition of the Kulturecast. Chris won't be here today, so I'll be hosting, Michael Swan, and I'm here with John Lein.
Howdy-ho.
So Chris is on vacation. We were left to our own devices. Good times, good times.
We're sending the website into the ground.
What better movie to do that with than The Frighteners?
Not intentional. Way to
go. So this week we're talking about Frighteners and The Fifth Element, two fantastic films. Probably not going to do a lot of shredding. We're probably going to be doing a lot of fanboy service, a lot of lip service, because these are two movies that actually, I guess they kind of, maybe not The Frighteners, but like The Fifth Element definitely has a serious cult following, a huge fan base now in like the modern, I guess, geek culture, so to speak. A lot of like sci-fi nerds and things like that. People who just love sci-fi. However, not to discount Frighteners, that's a fantastic movie. If you're unfamiliar, I mean, I don't know how you can't be, or I don't know how you could be unfamiliar with Michael J. Fox at this point. But if this is not a Michael J. Fox film you haven't seen, this is definitely something you should check out. Would you say, John?
Oh yeah, Frighteners is awesome. Like, it's great. It's both funny and creepy as shit. So
yeah, from the onset, at first glance, or if you were to stumble upon this in like, I guess not Blockbuster because they're gone, but if you were to go to like your local video rental store and see the cover for Frighteners, you would probably be confused on probably where it might be placed in the store, or just your first impressions from seeing the cover. The cover like just says straight up horror when you look at the cover.
Yeah, I mean it's like a skull face grinning, shoving its way out of a wallpaper thing.
Yeah, and that's not to and that's not to say that there aren't spooky or creepy or even quasi scary elements of this movie, because I mean obviously it deals with the undead and ectoplasm and all that nonsense, and certainly there's a certain amount of death in it as well. But the content is so well delivered and so funny from Michael J. Fox and his two compatriot ghosts.
Three, he has three, buddy.
Oh yeah, he has three. He starts with three. The Judge, Stuart, and Cyrus.
Well, all right, here. Before we get into what like the actual plot line and everything is, do we have who suggested these movies?
Yeah, the Frighteners was actually suggested by a good friend of mine. We'll just call him Alex for now.
No, Frighteners was G, buddy.
Frighteners was G?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Cool. G-Tran. Gotcha. So yeah, Frighteners was suggested by your friend G-Tran. Mm-hmm. Shout out to him for contributing. Love it. It's awesome. Keep reading and all that good stuff. So I guess, what are your opening thoughts on Frighteners?
So much. I mean, I think this is probably my favorite Jake Busey movie. I love Michael J. Fox. I wish he was in more stuff, before, that unfortunate stuff happened. And, ghost fights are awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the best way to put it. There's a lot of fantastic things in this film as far as effects, the story itself, the comedic content. All in all, I mean, this is just wholly, on the whole, a very good movie. There's really not a lot to really rag on it about.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that comes to mind outright as far as anyone who could call this a bad movie. This was a great movie back in 1996. It's a great movie now. It's actually held up to time extraordinarily well.
Mm-hmm. It's unfortunate it lost a little bit of money when it was released, actually.
Which is incredibly surprising for those unfamiliar. The Frighteners was produced by Wingnut Films, which is Peter Jackson's company. Peter Jackson actually directed. So if you're a Peter Jackson fan and looking for something,
to write too.
And he helped write it. So if you're looking for something that isn't, I mean, nowadays when we think Peter Jackson, we think
Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit.
Yeah, we think Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit. I mean, those are huge summer blockbuster cultural pieces based on some really popular cult literature, and we don't really expect to see something like The Frighteners come out of Peter Jackson based on what we're more familiar with. And I think he does a fantastic job of blending comedy and horror, so much better than a lot of people that try to do it. A lot of times when you see directors and writers try and blend comedy and horror, it either becomes farcical or it becomes very cut and dry in segments that are comedic and segments that are scary, and it doesn't blend. The Frighteners blends very well.
I think that might be also sort of contributed to the fact that Robert Zemeckis, I think that might be due to the fact that Robert Zemeckis, he produced the film, and I'm sure that he was pretty heavily involved, honestly, because he also produced Tales from the Crypt, which I've been watching with Chris recently for Chronicles from the Crypt, and The Frighteners definitely has a Tales from the Crypt feel to it. You know what I mean? Well,
oh, absolutely.
You haven't seen Tales from the Crypt, have you?
No, I've seen a few episodes.
Oh, yeah, it definitely has, like, the same tone of creepy, but also not, like, nightmare-inducing creepy. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, there are horror films out there that do a very good job of causing, like, that nightmarish, like, just soul-gripping fear.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't really occur here. It's more just, some of the imagery is, I guess you could say it's quasi-disturbing, only because there's ghoulish figures. Like, I mean, anytime we see basically the Jake Busey's character, who's like it's like half like the character of death, half just his soul after death, after he goes on his killing spree. And there's images of like him as the figure of death is kind of, I don't want to say extraordinarily scary or disturbing, because I don't want to misconstrue it, but it that can induce fear, I think.
I think he's creepier when he stops being death.
Yes, after his first encounter, after the major encounter with Michael J. Fox's character, Frank Bannister, and he loses the death garb, and he becomes basically white, blue-collar, psychopathic killer. That is. I don't want to say just. I don't want to.
It's creepy.
It's creepy. It's probably the best way to put it. It's very akin to, say, Jack Nicholson's character in The Shining. That kind of deranged killer.
Right.
Which doesn't detract from the lighthearted. Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondersight comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondersight's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wonderside.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wonderside.com. Wonderside. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wonderside today.
Hello, my name is Kevin Tudor, and I'm one of the 3 hosts of Almost Major, a film podcast dissecting many major indie studios and the films they release. Every week, myself, Charlie Nash, and Bryden Doyle discuss overlooked, forgotten, or bona fide classic indie films via studio-specific miniseries. We've previously covered numerous films from Artisan Entertainment, Lionsgate Films, and New Line Cinema. Titles including The Blair Witch Project, American Psycho, Dogville, But I'm a Cheerleader, Saw, Requiem for a Dream, and Ringmaster, you know, the Jerry Springer film. Anyways, we have a fun time every week and we hope you will join us. Subscribe to Almost Major wherever you get your podcasts. Now proudly a part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Of Michael J. Fox, or even, we haven't talked about Trina Alvarado yet. Her character functions as the
straight man, almost
straight man, but it's almost like cute damsel in distress that believes the goofy character of Frank Bannister,
right?
Because she doesn't disbelieve. If there's anyone that just disbelieves, it's probably more akin to Dee Wallace's character, Patricia Ann Bradley, the newspaper editor, which we don't see a whole lot of.
Well, I think we should start at the beginning now, because we've gone on for a little while and we haven't really given any, background of what this movie is.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so this movie follows Michael J. Fox, who plays Frank Bannister. Frank Bannister used to be an architect, but there was a car accident, and his wife died and had a number carved into her forehead, the number 13, and Michael J. Fox was found, 2 miles away, just wandering in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And after that incident, he found that he could see ghosts. So, in order to finish building the house that he was trying to build for himself and his wife, he becomes what is essentially a con man who's telling the truth.
Yeah, it's a very strange dynamic.
Right. He has his ghost friends, played by John Astin, Chi McBride, and Jim Fife?
Jim Fife. It's Shy McBride. Shy McBride.
Right.
By the way.
Huh?
It's Shy McBride.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So he has the 3 of them go to people's houses, lift beds, throw pots around, bang the toilet seat up and down, flip over tables, all that kind of shit.
Basically just doing some poltergeisty bullshit.
Right. And then those ghosts also put his business card somewhere where the person who owns the house finds it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they find the card, think it's a sign, and they call him, and he shows up and does bullshit, plays a fucking toaster on their... He, turns on a toaster, he sprays a little squirt gun around the house saying it's holy water, and then he says the house is clear, and he gives them a 6-month warranty and walks out. And gets paid, $500.
Yep.
And so he pulls this on Trini Alvarado and Peter Dobson, who play Ray and Lucy Linsky. And when he's at the guy's house, he sees that Peter Dobson's character has the number 37 etched on his forehead in this weird light thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he leaves and he thinks nothing of it and he does stuff with his ghost friends. Turns out, Peter Dobson dies. Trini Alvarado... She wants Michael J. Fox to help her talk to her dead husband. And her dead husband is following Michael J. Fox around, trying to make sure that Michael J. Fox doesn't end up boning his ex-wife.
Well, now widowed wife.
Right, widowed wife. All this time, Jake Busey is on the news because, 13 years ago?
Yeah, I don't remember the actual time frame. Some time ago, Jake Busey's character, who's essentially a hospital orderly, decides to go on a killing spree.
Right, and he kills 12 people.
He kills 12 people.
And as he's getting dragged out of the hospital, he's like, "That's one better than what's-his-face. My score's 12. Beat that." And then he gets electrocuted.
Yeah.
And a young girl who's 15 at the time, played by Dee Wallace? Yeah, that's it. Patricia is played by Dee Wallace, and she's 15 at the time of Jake Busey's rampage, and she was in love with him, and so she got charged with accessory to murder for being involved with Jake Busey.
Yeah. Sentenced to life in prison after 5 years, was given like not a pardon, but she was given like conditional release by the. Essentially, she was given a release from prison conditionally from the state governor.
Right, on the condition that she stays at home with her crazy older lady mom. People keep dying. Michael J. Fox keeps seeing people's numbers on their heads. He sees the Grim Reaper flying around town, reaching into people's chests and crushing their hearts. The cops think it's Michael J. Fox somehow, and that introduces Jeffrey Combs, playing Milton Dammers, as this weird paranormal psychologist FBI agent.
Yeah, apparently he spent a lot of time undercover with various cults and sects.
Weird cults and shit like that.
He is probably one of the weirdest characters, and I, for the longest time, it's been a long time since I've seen The Frighteners, and on this most recent viewing of it, I almost thought for a second that wasn't Jeffrey Combs. That almost seemed very akin to Jim Carrey.
Yeah, sort of, if Jim Carrey were, like, self-mutilating. Like, if Jim Carrey played a self-mutilating psycho.
Well, I mean, we didn't know anything about the self-mutilation until, like, the very end of the movie.
Right.
But there's a lot of, like, facial expressions and mannerisms that Jeffrey Combs uses that are very akin to a lot of characters that Jim Carrey's played.
Mm-hmm.
And for, like, the longest time watching this movie most recently, I was like, wait, is that Jim Carrey? I had to, like, double-check, like, 12 times to make sure that was, in fact, Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah, it's...
It's a really good performance from Jeffrey Combs.
Yeah, it's an odd character that's super interesting, but also, like, at one point, I'm not really sure what he's trying to do. I mean, it's not like he's trying to get Michael J. Fox put in jail, because at one point he's like, oh, I expect this case to go to suicide long before it goes to court. It's like, what the shit, Jeffrey Combs? You are not a nice cop.
He's not a cop. He's like a deranged FBI agent.
Right. Ah, God. So, they end up... Michael J. Fox and his ghost friends end up fighting the Jake Busey in order to save Trini Alvarado from Jake Busey. And they have to, like, take his, remains to a church to get them consecrated and send him away. And there's a twist that I don't really want to ruin because I feel like a lot of people haven't seen Frighteners, and they definitely should, and I don't want to ruin the twist ending.
I'm with you, and this is probably one of the better twists I've seen in a movie. I didn't really see it coming, and that is probably... I think you and I both, John, consider ourselves rather adept at seeing twists coming. Mm-hmm. And this one got me. I don't know about you.
Right, it totally got me.
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
First time I watched Frighteners, and every time I rewatch it, I kind of go, man, how did I miss that?
Yeah, because there's... If you pay attention, there's probably some decent foreshadowing about the circumstances of the twist. Mm-hmm. But it's very subtle and very well done as far as the writing and the production of the film.
Right.
But there's actually a couple things we haven't really talked about, because that's the meat of the film. That's the overall arching premise.
Right, and now we get to talk about all the little things that make it awesome.
So, the ghosts in this movie.
So great.
Are amazing. Not just the three compatriot ghosts to Frank Bannister. There's even, and I guess at this point in life, you can probably just call it a cameo
Fucking
by Arlie Ermy, who essentially plays the same character he does in no matter what film he's in, whether it's a random ass YouTube video or if it's a full blown production. This guy always plays the same character, and it's perfect every time.
Yeah. Essentially, he's like the drill instructor of the cemetery. There's a lot of really weird, like, suggestions in this movie about what the afterlife is. Like, at one point, Gunny says, like, something like, "My tour of duty's another 87 years! I'll wait for you here!" You know?
Yeah.
Which means that he's, like, assigned to watch over the graveyard and keep the ghosts from being shitty to people?
I don't know. To me, it almost seems that he ended up dying in that town and was buried there. And so the premise is, I guess, for all of these ghosts, all the ghosts that we see, is that they have an opportunity at their first at death to leave and go on to the afterlife. And if they choose to not, for whatever reason, if they don't think they're actually dead or they're not prepared to leave, they're essentially stuck on Earth in whatever plane we're on. They're stuck here for, I guess, 100 years. They have to wait 100 years before they get another opportunity to go back. And I guess Gunny just didn't believe that he could die and decided to stick around. And then after, I guess, a couple of years, he came to terms with the fact that he's dead. And he's just counting down the years. But until then, he wants ghosts to act like ghosts and not be fucking with people.
Maybe. I sort of got the idea that there was, like, a hierarchy, and they sent Gunny down to the graveyard to, like, cover it.
I mean, that would be kind of cool, considering that it seems that he doesn't really have, like, a grave, like, in the ground. He's actually part of, like, an above-ground mausoleum type thing, is where we see him come from. So, I mean, that actually probably could be true, and if that is true, that's actually a really cool concept.
Right? And he has, like, superpowers that other ghosts don't have. Like,
yeah,
he can spontaneously create M240 machine guns in both hands, and, like, he can make a riot shield out of nothing. Like, that dude has superpowers that these other ghosts don't have.
Yeah.
And so I feel like maybe he's like a veteran cop ghost, which would be an awesome movie all on its own.
So, wait, are you saying that the Frighteners and R.I.P.D. are in the same universe?
Yes, and Gunny is a ghost cop.
That's fantastic. So, I guess let's talk about the three compatriot ghosts. The Judge, Cyrus, and Stewart.
Oh, the Judge is the best of those three.
The Judge is good. My favorite is Cyrus, mostly because he has some of his lines, some of his, like, one-liners are on point.
Mm-hmm.
But what did you like about the Judge?
I like that at one point he fucks a mummy.
That, you know what? That was funny, gross, and creepy all at the same time.
Right? It's fucking weird. So, at one point...
when he, like, finishes...
Yeah, dude, oh my god. Okay, so Michael J. Fox goes into a museum to stop Jake Busey from killing someone, and the Judge follows him, and the Judge sees a sarcophagus and an x-ray of the woman in the sarcophagus, and he says something like, "Oh, hello, fine woman.
And he
You got
talks about how
good teeth."
she's got good teeth.
Yeah, and then he says, "They don't call me the hanging judge for nothing."
Damn.
Jumps into her sarcophagus, and then the sarcophagus falls over, and then, like, his ass comes up out of the sarcophagus, bouncing up and down. Like,
you see basically what would essentially be him humping this mummy. It's something. And then when it's all done, and he comes up out of the sarcophagus and goes, "Man, I like it when they lay still like that." Oh my god. I almost lost it. That was some funny, gross shit right there.
It's so, like, insane. It comes almost out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
Because this movie, while being creepy and talking about death and stuff, like, at no point does it suggest that it's a movie that's going to have that sort of sexual content in it.
Well, I mean, this film is rated R, John.
No, I know it is, but up until that point where the Judge fucks the mummy, I didn't expect there to be any, like, I expected Tina Alvarado and Michael J. Fox to make out, obviously, at some point. But I didn't expect them to make dick jokes. They don't make dick jokes.
I'm totally with you. And actually, when looking back on it, if this movie came out just as it was in 1996, if this movie came out now, this would probably be more PG-13, honestly, for the most part. I mean, there are some things that probably toe the line, like fucking Dahmer's head getting blown off by a shotgun probably edges it into R today. But like for the most part,
like flashbacks of the hospital massacre.
Yeah, I mean, there's a select group of things that probably tip this into R. But for the most part, I would probably feel comfortable with someone under the age of 17 seeing this film. Considering like the video games that kids play today and all that shit, I don't see how this today would be rated R.
Yeah, but what's the minimum age that you would be willing to take your kids to see this movie at?
I'd probably say 15.
Yeah,
I'd probably show this to a 15-year-old.
Right, and in all honesty,
someone in high school.
Right. In all honesty, my sort of restrictions on age and watching movies is probably a little lax compared to most people. But 15 sounds about right to me for this movie. And like at the bare minimum.
Yeah, I mean, because yes, there is some content that probably definitely edges this into R, but in today's day and age, there's a lot of things that younger kids get away with. Because I could probably see myself, I probably could have watched this film at 15 and not have been bothered by it. For the most part, the movie's way more just funny comedy than anything, and I think a 15-year-old would be able to get that. Now I want to talk about why Cyrus is probably one of my favorite ghosts.
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's a line where Cyrus is upset, and he's like, if I something about how if I wanted to be treated like crap, I'd move back to L.A. or I'd move to Los Angeles or whatever.
If I wanted to get shot at every day, I'd move back to LA.
If I wanted to get shot at all day, I'd move back to LA. And then the thing about how there's nothing worse than a bunch of black brothers that are already dead. Like, that whole thing was fantastic. That entire just monologue from him for it. It's only about 20 seconds, but it is gold.
I like his whole you've been promising me a box of cigars for 2 years. And Michael J. Fox is like, you can't smoke cigars.
Yeah.
And he just says, blow the smoke in my face, man.
Yeah. I mean, all three of the compatriot ghosts, the Judge, Cyrus, and Stewart, provide a lot of color and comedic relief to this story. And I think the story would stand up on its own if those characters were weaker or played by weaker actors. Because I think Michael J. Fox and Trina Alvarado and Jake Busey and even Jeffrey Combs do such a good job as basically what's considered, they're probably the main stars of the film. But the performances by the supporting characters really send this up over the top. Like Troy Evans as Sheriff Perry, very small part, but great.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of that strewn throughout the entire film.
And R. Lee Ermey's weird hatred of Michael J. Fox adds some interesting parts to the movie. I mean,
because it comes out that Frank Bannister is technically a con man. He's claiming that he can see ghosts and deal with apparitions and things like that, which he probably can. It's just he creates these things to happen to people, and apparently that really pisses off R. Lee Ermey. It's the first instance that we hear the word the Frighteners, because apparently that's a noun, giving someone the Frighteners.
Right. Apparently it's when a ghost scares someone, it's called giving them the Frighteners, and then also ghosts that have left the cemetery to scare people are called Frighteners.
Yeah.
It's like an occupation.
Yeah, it's a definitely weird and fun concept. And actually there's not a lot of things, but there's parts of this film that it's definitely just send up and throwback to the Ghostbusters, that contraption that Michael J. Fox uses in the Linsky home.
Right, the thing that's like a toaster, and he turns it on.
It's just a toaster. Yeah, it total send up of Ghostbusters.
Because then it goes,
I love it.
Bing.
Oh.
And then he pulls out the little bag of what I'm assuming is bonbons or some shit, and he's like, "There you go, 6 ectoplasmic residues."
Yeah, oh my god. So many good things in this movie. If you haven't seen it, you need to check it out.
Yeah, it's definitely great. Like, babies can talk to ghosts, apparently.
I don't know if they can talk to ghosts, but it's definitely a play on the theory that like dogs and kids can see shit a lot more clearly than adults can, because adults, as they grow up, become more cynical and their belief is broken and that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's definitely a throwback to that theory. So I guess babies and small children and dogs and pets and shit can actually see these ghostly apparitions.
Mm-hmm. And then there's also, like, the ghosts continue to deteriorate, just in a different way. It's like their spirit deteriorates, and they start, like, instead of getting, like, acne, they get these sores on their face that leak ectoplasmic goo.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. I didn't hear anything about any kind of explanation about that. But it's definitely, I mean, it's probably similar to the judge, because the judge is apparently old as all fuck.
Right, and he's talking about how he's, like, dried up and stuff.
Yeah, and his bones creak and things like that, and yeah, I guess ghosts have a time limit.
Right, I mean, if you look at the little parts of this movie, it suggests a really weird but also interesting, like, afterlife world that somebody apparently created in their head.
Yeah.
Like, I just think it's because it's not just, okay, ghosts are real. It's like, ghosts are real, but not the way we think they are.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting. This watch through, I started noticing that stuff more. And it was just, I was like, man, that's really weird. I want to talk to Fran Walsh and Peter Jackson about what if they, like, had notes on what the afterlife was like in the world of the Frighteners.
Yeah. That would probably be an interesting conversation. So, best performance. Yeah, let's just do best performance, because I think the consensus is this is a fantastic film. Everyone should watch it.
Yeah.
So I don't think we need to give final thoughts. So what is your MVP performance for the Frighteners?
All right. As much as I love Michael J. Fox, I mean, I love literally everything he's in. It doesn't matter. I've watched every movie that I can get my hands on that he's in, and I like them all. My best performance is going to Jake Busey, because his serial killer that's whole objective is to have more kills than the other serial killers. I mean, at one point he makes a joke about how a Russian cannibal says he got 50 plus, and he says, "That's not right, baby. That record should be held by an American," or some like weird shit like that. And I was like,
that's a weird segment.
Just like his whole character is interestingly thought out. He's got an interesting motivation that most serial killers have some weird political or ethical thing that they're spouting while they go around murdering people. And Jake Busey is literally just, I want to kill the most people more than anybody else ever has.
That's like a really fucked up way to look at shootings and killings. And it's appeared in real life a couple times, and to see that portrayed in a film, kind of fucked up. I don't know if that I don't think that. I mean, it might cross a line for some people. I mean, it doesn't for me, because I have a really fucked up, twisted sense of humor. But I could definitely see people being bothered by that concept. It wasn't too long ago. Wasn't there there was a shooting in like Norway or Finland when the guy killed like 96, 93 people?
Well, there have been so many shootings recently. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, that one was notable because the guy literally was just trying to kill as many people as he could.
Oh, really?
Yeah. As far as our...
Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed. Lab-proven to work fast. And proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's Wonder20 at Wonderside.com. Wonderside. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wonderside today.
Remember, that was literally some guy with a machine gun just mowing down people because he was trying to get a high score. And that's a really fucked up way to talk about killing people, trying to get a high score. But it's brought up in the Frighteners because that's the main concept for Jake Busey's character. But I mean, that's a thing that has apparently happened in real life multiple times. But yeah, you're right. I mean, most mass murders, most shootings deal with an individual that's either deranged or got some kind of goofy political scheme going on or some kind of political end.
In movies.
I mean, not even in movies. Like, I mean, there's probably a reason behind the madness for some of the shit that goes on in real life.
Well, that's true too.
But it's like incredibly fucked up when the concept of a high score gets brought into the mix in real life. So I mean, that's definitely probably a sticking point for some people. If that's going to be a problem for you, I'll say, I mean, I still think you should watch this movie, but be warned. My MVP performance, I'm actually going to go with Jeffrey Combs. Plays Milton Dammers, the uber crazy, demented FBI agent.
Uh-huh.
And he was fantastic. So much so that I didn't realize it was him. I only thought that such a deranged character could only be played by the one and only Jim Carrey, and I was wrong. So bravo, Jeffrey Combs. Absolutely fantastic.
Cool.
Cool. So our next film, The Fifth Element, suggested by a good buddy of mine named Alex. Huge fan of sci-fi. I'm a huge fan of sci-fi. John, I'm sure you're a huge fan of sci-fi.
Huge. Biggest fan of sci-fi ever.
The Fifth Element that's kind of like a staple work in the sci-fi genre, I would have to say.
Is Chris the only person that you know that hasn't seen it?
Yeah, Chris is the only person that I know of who I've had tried to have conversations with about the movie, and he hasn't seen it. And until it was suggested, was pretty adamant about the fact that he wasn't going to see it.
Right, and I don't know why. Because he is literally the only person I know that hasn't seen this movie. And I wish he was here because I would like to make sure that he watched it.
It's kind of funny because this is probably the third or fourth podcast I've done without Chris here. And it always ends up that we end up talking about his taste in movies. Which is kind of funny because he's going to sit down, he's going to listen to this episode.
I know he is.
So, some things we need to get straight. Chris doesn't like long movies. He doesn't like popular movies. What other shit can we make up about Chris?
He doesn't like movies that have a sort of chromatic color tone.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't like any of that. He doesn't like the biggest movies of the year, a.k.a. Fast and Furious 7.
He doesn't like anything Yashar doesn't like. He doesn't like anything Yashar likes.
Anything Yashar likes, Chris doesn't like. But anyway, The Fifth Element, fantastic film. Thank you, Alex, for suggesting it. And actually, Alex wasn't the only one to suggest it. The Fifth Element actually got suggested by about 3 or 4 people, but Alex was the first one, so we're giving him credit. This is probably next to Blade Runner, the Star Wars franchise, and Star Trek franchises. This is probably one of my favorite sci-fi films. And I'm actually gonna go so far to say that Fifth Element is in the tier of what I would probably consider perfect sci-fi films. There is literally nothing I can think of that makes any part of this film bad or weak or a chore to watch.
And you're putting Star Wars and Star Trek in that list of perfect films?
And you know what? No, I'm not. They're just one of my favorites. Fifth Element is literally what I would classify as a perfect sci-fi film.
Yeah, I agree. Fifth Element is actually, I think, one of my top 5 movies of all time.
Yeah, like favorites aside, whether you like the film or not, there are so many things that are right about this film.
It's one of those sci-fi films where, like, the entire world is crafted from scratch.
Absolutely.
And so every shot has, like, 1 or 2 different new things that you can spot every time you watch the movie. And not only that, but it's classic Bruce Willis style action, so that's always entertaining. Then you got Gary Oldman in it as the bad guy, and he's great. You've got Ian Holm, Mia Jovovich, oh yeah. And, Chris Tucker as Ruby Rod. And this movie is amazing.
Yeah, if you look at the actual story, the production itself, the acting power in this movie, and then all the effects, there is literally nothing I can think of that is wrong with this movie, even down to the fact that Tommy Tiny Lister is the president of the American Federation or whatever it is, whatever state is basically encompassing all of Earth.
Best fictional black president ever.
Yeah, wait, even better than Morgan Freeman?
Yeah, better than Morgan Freeman. That line, General, I have a doubt. And the general's like, I don't, and it's the fire button. Oh, God.
But anyway, okay, let's not do so much fan service at the beginning. Let's break down let's talk about the plot.
All right, you do this one.
Okay, I'm doing this one?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the world's going to end. Basically, the entire story revolves around the fact that there's a cyclical destructive force that occurs every 5,000 years, and it's up to the fifth element to save the universe and all of life.
The fifth element is like the perfect being.
Yeah, the perfect being. Not human, but like not alien. Apparently, it has a 200,000 gene sequences or gene memos, I guess is what they called it in the movie. Basically, it encompasses every bit of DNA throughout the entire universe. All of life is in this perfect being.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to, I guess, apparently it's up to the priesthood in this film. That's, I guess they're charged with looking after the fifth element and the four elemental stones.
Yeah, it's like a weird cult religion thing that only has two priests because the information is passed down literally from one priest to another.
Yeah, basically like master and apprentice type deal.
Right.
Very, very Sith, actually. There can only be two. Anyway, so the cycle is up. The extraordinarily powerful destructive force is hurtling towards Earth, where the fifth element is resting, and it is now up to Bruce Willis's character Corbin Dallas to essentially save the world with the help of Ian Holmes playing Father Vito Cornelius, and apparently Gary Oldman, John Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg is apparently helping whatever the entity is that's hurtling towards Earth, the darkness. He is helping he's helping this entity to get the four stones, because apparently if it gets the four stones, the life in the universe as we know it ends, and it's just nothing but darkness. So there ends up being like a shootout at this resort hotel. Bruce Willis gets the four stones, and in the last basically 5 seconds of the universe's existence, they save humanity.
Right, and Mia Jovovich is the fifth element.
Well, yeah, I mean, that itself is not important until we start talking about the actual movie itself. But, I mean, that's the plot rundown. That is the fifth element. If you just break it down to brass tacks.
Right.
Destruction, impending doom, universe is saved. That's the movie. So, my favorite character in this whole movie is probably Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg. Mostly because I really like Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman is not my favorite actor in this film, because that actually probably goes to Ian Holm over Bruce Willis.
Mm-hmm.
Oddly enough. Because, I mean, this is just classic Bruce Willis action hero type of a deal for him. This is a film... Because we've talked about Gary Oldman before, and Gary Oldman's made some weird shit. He's made some really bad stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This falls into a category of films where, I know I've talked about it with Chris, I'm not sure if I've talked about it with you, it almost seems that Gary Oldman has made some kind of deal with some goofy-ass devil for what films he can be amazing in.
Yeah, Chris said that.
And what films he makes that it's absolute crazy.
Man, I forget which podcast we talked about that in.
It's maybe 10 episodes ago or so, but for whatever reason, Gary Oldman either makes solid gold
or just like absolute weird
crap.
Shit.
Yeah, and this is definite gold.
Oh,
this is the character of Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg. I just love saying that name, by the way. It's a fantastic name. As far as character names go, that's incredible. We don't see names like that in movies anymore. Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg. Like, that's just awesome. But his character is kind of like the deranged evildoer, almost kind of akin to the Joker in a sense.
Except he's like a straight capitalist as opposed to like an anarcho fucking...
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. He just has like that quirkiness, like that bit about the red button when he's selling.
A real killer would have immediately asked about the red button on the underside of the gun.
Yeah, like to me that's a total Joker thing to do and say. But his character as a whole wields a lot of power, but at the same time is extraordinarily frightened of whatever this dark entity is hurtling towards Earth.
And almost kind of inept sometimes, too.
Very much so. It's very strange, and but it provides such a good dynamic that literally his shortcomings, they don't detract from his character. They do nothing but shine on other characters. Like, it makes Bruce Willis and Ian Holmes look really good, or even Chris Tucker to a degree, because Chris Tucker's character is essentially useless. It's literally just flashy eye candy, which is good for Chris Tucker. It's perfect Chris Tucker.
Right, that is a perfect Chris Tucker role.
It is if you ever watch anything Chris Tucker's in, the least amount of acting he can do, the better the film usually is.
The more he can just be his weird, annoying self, the better.
Yes, and that's all this is for him. It's good.
He plays, by the way, Ruby Rod, who is a radio show host following Bruce Willis around, because Bruce Willis, the only way that they could get him onto the sort of cruise ship that the Stones are on is by pretending that is fixing a competition for tickets to the cruise ship. And so the winner of the competition gets to be followed around and hang out with Chris Tucker's character, who's like a big famous womanizing.
He's essentially like Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah.
To be honest, that character functions as like a futuristic Ryan Seacrest.
Right, just like louder.
Louder and more flamboyant.
I think my favorite character is Mr. Kim.
Mr. Kim.
He is the Asian dude that runs that floating noodle shop that just floats up to Bruce Willis's window.
And it's at this point, because I think you're going to like this one. It's at that point, at that scene, to me, Blade Runner and Fifth Element are in the same universe. That's the tie.
Because of the noodle shop?
Because of the noodle shop. That's the only thing that ties them together, but it's enough. Because aesthetically, the Earth in the Fifth Element and Earth in Blade Runner are kind of similar. There's definitely years differentiating the two works. Mm-hmm. But aesthetically, they feel similar. I
mean, Blade Runner is darker, but they are both really heavily branded and industrial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, both representations of Earth in the future are, and it's worth noting that these films are removed by about 10 years or so, but maybe a little bit more than that. Blade Runner was what, 84?
I don't remember what year Blade Runner was.
I think Blade Runner came out in the 80s. Fifth Element late 90s. It's roughly about 10 years removed.
Mm-hmm.
But the worlds themselves, distinctly different but oddly similar, and I would even buy that the worlds themselves are they're connected, the same universe, but separated by 10, 15 years. I could definitely buy that and would be excited if that were ever true.
Different points in the timeline of Earth?
Different points in the timeline. That would be fantastic. I would love it so much. But that's just a testament to how good, because a lot of people, if they're unfamiliar with Fifth Element, most people, I would say, are really familiar with Blade Runner. And there's a huge, huge fandom of Blade Runner.
I would say it's probably an even number of fans, honestly. Not to say that you can't like both, but I feel like they both have the same amount of exposure. Just one targets more fun people, and the other targets a serious demographic or mood.
I'm with you, and I can agree with that. It has always felt to me that the Fifth Element had more of a cult following than Blade Runner. Blade Runner has a huge fandom because, well, Harrison Ford, but to me, Blade Runner has always felt like the bigger, more successful film. Is all. So yeah, let's get back to Fifth Element.
Right. So Mr. Kim, he drives the noodle float, and he at the very beginning of the movie, Bruce Willis drives a cab.
Yeah, that's his job.
Right, and
they call him Major, so he's obviously
he's
an
veteran, ex-special
he's
forces
retired.
guy.
Yeah. So, but his job now he drives a cab,
and he gets news his wife just left him, so he's pining over that. His dog died or some shit. They mentioned that, and something else bad happens to him. And while
his lawyer left him with his wife.
Right, with his wife. And while he's eating noodles, he gets a letter in the mail. And Mr. Kim is like, "You open, good news." And Bruce Willis lists all the fucked up shit that's happened to him. And Mr. Kim says that bad news comes in threes. This one has to be good. and they make a bet that if it's bad news, Mr. Kim will pay for the noodles that Bruce Willis is eating. So Bruce Willis opens it, and it's a message saying that he got fired. And he's like, you read it. And so Mr. Kim reads it, and he says, you are fired! Oh. And then Bruce Willis says, at least I have free noodles. And then Mr. Kim floats away from the window laughing and being like, you look on bright side! Ah!
Yeah, it's totally, I mean, definitely a more racial character, but extraordinarily funny and totally worth whatever, I guess, I don't know, I don't want to say distaste from any kind of community, but if you get upset at like racial stereotypes, fuck it, that was worth it.
I mean, that whole interaction is a great way to reveal that Bruce Willis's character Dallas is just like shit out of luck.
Oh yeah, completely down on his luck, got nothing to lose basically. The perfect person to go on some kind of crazy suicide mission to go get 4 random stones.
And that's why I love this movie so much, is that scene and Mr. Kim as a character, it has no like real actual bearing on anything except to like give us more depth and background into what our characters are. And there's so many of those. Like Dallas is trying to quit smoking. And so he gets 3 cigarettes a day in a dispenser that comes out on his wall, but each cigarette has an increasingly smaller tobacco portion and an increasingly larger filter. Mm-hmm. So eventually his like last cigarette of the day is just a huge filter with like 1 puff of tobacco on the end.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, he's trying to quit smoking. He has to have a machine do it for him because he doesn't have the like force of will to do it himself. And also in this world, apparently that's an acceptable way to quit smoking, is to give yourself like a puff of tobacco. Like at that point, why bother?
I mean, it's just like chewing like nicotine gum. I mean, nicotine gum has nicotine in it. That's how you wean yourself off it.
I mean,
it's
I've smoked. I smoked for...
I mean, you still smoke.
Well, sometimes.
Asshole.
Only a little bit.
Only a little bit? Okay.
Only when I'm drunk.
Which is, ladies and gentlemen, that's like 90% of the time.
No. It's like once every 3 days. Fuck off.
Yeah, okay.
But it's just, I find that all the little things like that are such great indicators of what the world is and how it works around the characters in the movie and how the characters behave and their situations. And I think that this movie, again, that's why this movie is amazing, because of all the little things.
Yeah, there's quite a few scenes that don't have any real bearing on the story, but provide excellent just character development and don't detract from the story at all. A lot of times we see a scene that'll explain something about a character, and it has no bearing on the story, and it does nothing but ruin the movie watching experience. And that's not this at all. Mm-hmm. It's one of the better examples of writing in film.
Yeah, and it's a great action comedy.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of funny that we finally... It's been a while since we've actually talked about funny films on this podcast. we either end up dealing with like serious dramas...
or just awful shit.
Awful, just direct action, direct drama, direct sci-fi. Or it's like either just really good in those categories. But as far as comedy is not something we've really discussed. And both these movies, Frighteners and The Fifth Element, are extraordinarily funny. Like, there's just times where you can't help but laugh at something. Like when Ian Holmes' character, Father Vito Cornelius, gets into the airplane and they land and they go, "Oh, we got parasites in the air vents again." And it's just like he pops out and just tangled in wires. I couldn't help but laugh. Like that was perfect.
And he just says something like, "Where's the exit?" or "Where's the bathroom?"
It's like, have we landed?
Yeah, that's what he says. And the clerk just goes, yeah.
So many good things about this movie. Kind of some goofy commentary too, if you really want to like analyze it. Or I guess at this point you're either super analyzing or just being a boob, I guess. But there's a point where Gary Oldman is dealing with those warrior mercs that he hired.
The
And
Mangalores?
the Mangalores, and the leader is like still in his like human face garb, and Gary Oldman does that spiel about don't be afraid of who you are. And I'm like, oh, all right, yeah, guys, just be yourself. That's fine.
I love the Mangalores as like an alien species.
Oh yeah,
Because they're
the
like
Mangalores are great.
they're like their whole shtick is that they're badass mercenaries. Like they're a badass mercenary army that only fights for lost causes.
Yeah,
And they are like they're supposed to be these beautiful badass mercs, and the fucking Bruce Willis shoots their leader in the head, and they all give up. You know what I mean? In the
Yeah.
scene where they have the cruise ship hostage.
yeah.
And he says, I'm coming in to negotiate. And he turns the corner, puts one in the leader, and then he says, who else wants to negotiate?
Yeah, no, that's a really good scene. And that's probably it's not something we had mentioned yet, but it's another reason that this film is just one of the best sci-fi films you'll probably ever see. Just the extraordinary amount of alien species that we see is great. It's most sci-fi films tend to not take risks as far as creating alien species. I mean, we saw plenty of that in Star Wars. We see it all the time in Star Trek. Very, very, very rarely do we see sci-fi films involving humans where that's just basically all we see. That's mostly what we see is humans in space as far as sci-fi is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And so seeing a variety of different species is great. Whether it be the Mangalores, whatever species the diva was, that huge blue goddess singer.
Yeah, I don't think they ever say what her species is
they
called.
they don't say what her species is.
The Mondashawan elephant guys?
Oh my god, the Mondashawans. And talk about weird looking, or just cool, weird looking aliens.
Right? And just a shitload of work to put into making those outfits.
Yeah, I mean, that is some incredible work. And it's not, like, that right there, the Mondashawans are a prime example of what I think is really missing from sci-fi today.
Practical alien special effects that people actually put work into.
Oh yeah, because like if you look at Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Galaxy has color and all that good stuff, but I mean Marvel has the budget to basically CGI all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Very rarely do you see extraordinary practical effects. The new Star Trek films do that a little bit. Some of like the androids and some of the other aliens actually do the bulk of the work is decent, is very good, decent practical special effects and makeup. That's highlighted with computer effects, and I can deal with that in an age where we don't see a lot of practical effects anymore. I can deal with like CGI touch up on already established work.
Yeah, I mean, I prefer more like visceral practical effects, like in The Thing, where it's all real work that people actually put into crafting those effects, and they still look creepy or awesome or gory or whatever without being over the top.
Yeah.
And I miss the days when that was the norm.
I mean, those days aren't coming back.
I know. Fucking computers, man.
Fucking computers.
Should all be burned.
All right. Well, again, I don't really think we need to give closing thoughts because I mean, this film is fucking great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, what is your MVP performance?
Man, that is rough for this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. This is a good one if you wanted to like pick some obscure. This would probably be a good one to do. But there's this list is stacked.
Yeah. I mean, oh shit. I'd probably go with shit, man. I mean, Bruce Willis is always awesome, but he's not like a different character. He's Bruce Willis. So I'm probably not going to pick him. I'm probably going to go with... Is Fogg the character, the, like, druggie that, like, tries to mug Bruce Willis?
No, I thought that character's name was actually Mugger.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm going to go with Matthew Kasovitz?
Matthew Kasovitz?
Yeah, I don't know how to say his first name. But he plays, like, this drugged-out mugger, who tries to rob Bruce Willis, and there's like a buzz at Bruce Willis's door, and he looks through the peephole, and he just sees the hallway, and so he opens the door to look around, and fucking Cassavetes is sitting there. He pulls his head up, and he's got a picture of the hallway printed out on a board on a hat that he's wearing on his head to get people to open the door so that he can put a gun in their face.
Yep.
And he's like, "Give me the money, man!"
Yeah, totally like cracked out, methed up, amped up. It's your classic bottom dwelling, drugged out mugger.
Right, and just so over the top. And the interactions that he has with the straight-faced Bruce Willis character are just great.
Oh my god, that's actually like that's a great interaction too, because Bruce Willis all calmly like, oh, "That's a good gun you got there.
That's a nice hat," he says.
Oh yeah, he closes. It closes with like nice hat. I was like, "That's nice. That's a nice gun." So, XYZ about it, but too bad it's not loaded. And the guy's like, "What?"
Yeah, and his gut laugh is like, as he's like giggling because he knows he's fucked up, and also like nervous because he wants to load the gun. I don't know how to describe it. It's that interaction that he has with Bruce Willis is probably one of my favorite parts of the movie.
Oh yeah. All right, for my MVP performance, you know what? I'm actually going to go with Ian Holm, Father Vito Cornelius. Ian Holm has been in a lot of stuff, but for the most part, his characters get ragged on for just being weak.
Mm-hmm.
Just weak portrayals. And I actually think his time as Father Cornelius was actually really good. It's actually probably one of his more standout performances as far as his career is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm going to go with Ian Holm. Good job, man.
Yeah, he's good.
Awesome stuff. Yeah. So yeah. Well, it's been fun doing this without Chris. It's freedom. Spread the wings a little bit. Is there anything you want to plug there, John?
Well, obviously my Twitter is John Lein 1. Follow me there. And there's Chronicles from the Crypt, which is a podcast that Chris and I do that gets released on Thursdays. I never remember which day that gets released. It's a retrospective on Tales from the Crypt, so we talk about Tales from the Crypt episodes, which is why I thought of it when we were watching Frighteners. Other than that, I don't think I have anything going on. School's almost up for this semester.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, same for me, too. 2 weeks, man. 2 weeks.
Yep, and then summer school starts.
And summer school. Well, you can follow me on Twitter at MESWANNJR. That is ME Swan Jr. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. Check us out on iTunes or Stitcher. Give us a review. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. If we're doing something you don't like, let us know. If there's something we're not doing that you think would be cool, also let us know. We love interacting with listeners and readers. It's always a blast. So again, like us on Twitter.
Yeah, if you don't think
follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook.
If you don't think we're cursing enough, make sure to mention that.
Oh, yeah, that is something we can totally fucking fix. That is easy to do. But anyway, thanks for listening to the Kulturecast. We publish Mondays and I guess Thursdays. Mondays and Thursdays, I guess. Anyway, but yeah, Kulturecast comes out twice a week. Check out the Kulturecast. Check out Chronicles from the Crypt. Check out Running the Ropes, part of 3 Count for cultureshock.com.
Oh yeah, I always forget that wrestling shit.
Oh my god, you mean Wrestling Glory. Pure Americana.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you guys next time. Let's stop.